right.
So that right there, that's worth another. That's another worth another 55 right there. Real or nah? I've been dealing with these group of people for the longest time. So I know what is portrayed as real and what's portrayed as nah, which is why I picked these stories. I also know when to shut my mouth and not to give away the ending to certain things. So let's go ahead and play this story and get this all over with. Real or nah?
So I'll keep this post short and simple. This was 3 years ago, and it was December. I remember because it was a day before my birthday, and I was in a big box store. One that combines a grocery store with clothing, electronics, you get the picture. So in the store, I see a cashier that I know standing at the end of a register on her cell phone. How she was getting away with it, I don't know. I also saw a woman who was clearly vision impaired, trying to ask the cashier for help, but she kept blowing her off. I heard her say, "Go ask someone else." Now, mom and dad raised me to help others in need if they need help. So I walk up to the lady, ask if there was any way I could help, and she said yes. She wasn't used to the new layout since they remodeled. Now, from experience in high school, a girl that I had a crush on who was visually impaired used to hold my arm or my elbow so I could guide her. So I helped the woman, and she carried the handbaskets, and she would tell me what she needed. We talked, and she told me how in school she had a nice friend who did the same for her. I said he seemed like a decent guy. And she told me, yeah, he was kind of short and had a squeaky voice, but he seemed shy. I helped her with her shopping, and when we were done, we go to the register, and the cashier who had blown her off said, "Hi Ricardo, how are you today?" I say to her, "Don't hi Ricardo me. This young lady tried to ask you for help and you just blew her off and stood there on your cell phone. Just ring us up." The young lady who I was helping then said, "Wait, Ricardo, did you go to GW High?" I tell her, "Yes, I did." And she says, "Ricardo, don't you recognize me?" And then it hit me hard. I said, "Sandy, is that you?" She says yes, that she didn't recognize me or my voice as I had gotten taller. I tell her, yeah, so puberty hit me like a tsunami after high school. I was a real late bloomer. We then talked for a while because I didn't recognize her at first. This was years after high school, and she changed a lot too. I then confessed to her that I had a crush on her in high school, and I was crushed when I heard that she had a guy taking her to prom. I told her that I was trying to work up the courage to ask. And that's when she says, "Oh, the guy that took me to prom? That was my brother. He didn't want me to miss out on it." At that I laughed and said, "Oh, if I wasn't a chicken, I would have asked you sooner." To which she laughs and says, "Actually, I was hoping you would have asked, and I didn't know you work here." I say to her, "Oh, I actually don't work here." And that's when Sandy laughed and said, "You always were a sucker for a damsel in distress." After that, we exchanged phone numbers, started texting, and we ended up dating. And 1 year to the day in December, I asked Sandy to marry me, and she said yes. Now we're married and very happy. Now I might not have taken Sandy to the prom, but I did way better. I took her hand as my bride. Y'all.
They a lie. This is not real. This is social lie. Oh my goodness, he done poured it on. They were lost lovers and they didn't reckon, and she legally, and she's taking them to no lies, lies, love.
In today's episode of How the Target Turns.
How I Met Your Mother. Come on.
Definitely real.
This is so fake. This is so fake. Oh my gosh. This has never happened to anybody that I've ever met, ever. They didn't recognize each other.
So, Tracy, if somebody says that Orange Juice Jones never wore jeans,
who?
It don't matter. It don't matter. Tracy says Orange Juice Jones never wore jeans. And I asked Tracy, have you ever seen Orange Juice Jones in a picture? No. Have you seen Orange Juice Jones on TV? No. Have you ever seen Orange Juice Jones in public? No. So just because you say you've never seen it,
This
does
is
not make it
fake.
not real.
Marlon, this is fake. It's too convenient. It's too tied up. It's too all loose.
How is
No,
it convenient?
it's too convenient. They didn't recognize each other. He walked her around the store by his elbow. Blah. He wanted to ask her to the prom, but he didn't want to ask her so she was good. He didn't know that was her brother. Lies. I call lies. I call lies.
I was just gonna go with it. Just didn't seem real because how like weirdly poetic it was flowing, and then there's little detail like you don't work there, you're in the store, you notice the girl with the cell phone at the cashier's register, but she knows your name.
Yeah.
Once she knew his name, and that was how the blind woman was able to identify.
She was legally
at
blind.
that point.
She wasn't blind. She
Huh?
was legally blind.
Well, I'm darn near blind, so there's a small distinction. But if you blind enough that someone has to lead you, you're blind. But she couldn't identify the person, but the cashier
Say the
happened to
name.
know his name, calls him Ricardo. That's when the blind lady is like, Ricardo, and then yeah, I'm Ricardo.
I'm with the person in the comments. How did he not know that was her brother that took her to prom? How?
Well,
did.
he
how
liked
did you
her, but
not
he didn't know
brother
her.
How did you not know her
Yeah.
brother in high school? And I do have to admit, there's very few people, especially somebody who I may have a crush on. It's very few.
I'm gonna make sure I know everything about him, who his sister is, who his cousin is. I'm gonna know.
Y'all stalkerish. Ooh.
Man, that's not stalkerish. That's just
Ooh.
background information.
Yeah, that's
Ooh. I didn't even know all my girlfriend's last name.
Oh no.
If it is a small town where the
really your girlfriend
cashier knows your name,
Yeah, you would know she would have a brother, and you would know who that brother is
know
if the
the
town
brother.
is small enough. If the town is small. Now, if it's
Hold on,
Indianapolis or Seattle or New York or Atlanta.
He's gonna pull some hard line that y'all done ignored, and since I'm an old player, I heard what he said. I have girlfriends whose last name I didn't know. Bruh, that wasn't your girlfriend.
I had girlfriends. I don't have any girlfriend.
That wasn't your girlfriend.
What was your wife's name before you married her? That's what I want to know. Did you know your wife's name before you married her?
That was an acquaintance.
So what?
That was a hookup, but that wasn't a girlfriend.
I'm not gonna repeat what I said.
No, I can't hear Marlon. I'm not sure what he's making a point, but I'm not.
There is not a girlfriend, a real girlfriend who I am dating, whose last name I don't know. So how did you have a girlfriend whose last name?
No, he said girlfriends, plural. He said plural. He didn't say just one. He said at least two.
Oh, it is.
He out here playing.
Know the last name. He just got him confused.
No, I never got him confused. Because here's the thing.
Sure that he didn't say the last name.
It's really shallow. Okay, what I'm about to say is very shallow.
It is.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I'm glad you admit it.
Last name you don't know. It really is.
Hey,
that's very shallow.
hey, what do I always say to you guys? Whatever it is that you believe or you are, at least own it. That's what I say, and I own my foibles. But I didn't know many of their last names. All I needed was their first name, and then I would give them a nickname because that was my lady, and then all I ever used was a nickname. Their last name was immaterial.
So when you called her house, did you call her house?
I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do that.
What you doing? Just dating in school or something? Didn't you call her? Like, we're going to go to the movies on Friday. So you didn't say, nobody answered the phone, this is the Johnson household, how can I help you?
I wasn't a phone. I've never been a phone person. So most of the girls I dated lived near me. We went to school together. I didn't need to.
Did you go over to their house?
And then remember what I told you in high school, girlfriends were not that common. I just had them. Okay. But by the time I got to college though, I kept that same thing. I did not use real names. You got nicknames. And I've only been in love twice in my entire life. In my whole life, I've only been in love twice. And I married both of them. So all the girls that I dated, I was never all that into like that anyway. So a nickname was more than good enough for me. Relationships ran between 2 to 6 months. I didn't date nobody
Ooh.
for more than that. So it wasn't the best way to be, but I treated them all great. Even to this day, if any of them see any of these videos, I bet you they would still say nice things about me because that's the kind of guy I am and the guy I was.
He may not have known my
serious.
last name, but he was the
Well,
nicest
that part
person.
might irritate them now. That part might irritate them now. But
He was the
They
nicest
didn't know
man
I
that
didn't
didn't know my last name.
because it's true. I mean, it's the absolute truth. I was the kind of guy that, I've always believed, I don't know where I picked it up from. You always treat a woman 2 degrees better than how you met her, right? So whatever type of person she is, you treat her better than that. And that's just the way it is. So I would oftentimes, when I did get in trouble, was usually with female friends who thought that I liked them because of the way I treated them, when in fact, it's just the way that I was taught to treat women. That I would run into a lot.
But
too.
you didn't know their last name either.
Nope. Why would I? I'm not
I knew
mailing
his
you a letter.
name.
What the
I
hell
knew
need
his
your last
friend's name. I
for?
knew his father's name. I knew his mama's name. I knew the sister. I knew everybody. I'm knowing everybody. I'm tagging everybody in that family. Period.
Why?
You
Why?
literally would be a person. If I had a sister, you would be nowhere near my
That's a
sister.
good question, Tish.
You would literally be nowhere near my sister.
Because I don't want no surprises.
Because you have no point
Why?
being with my sister. You have no
What I
reason
do?
whatsoever to be with my sister at all, ever.
Why would
Ever.
you say that?
Why would I say
Because I don't
that?
know her last name?
You
Because I don't know her
wouldn't-
last name?
You wouldn't take the 2 seconds that it would take to know somebody.
What's your last name, honey?
I knew people's last name when I was in high school that was in my class who I never even hold a conversation with. I never dated them.
So here's a little bit of a thing about me though.
He was
I
a
moved
player.
every 2 to 3.
You was a
No,
player.
I wasn't. I knew the rules of the game, but I didn't always play it. But I
knowing
moved
that
every
last name
2
is
to
playing
3
the game.
years.
Not knowing their last name is knowing the game.
I move constantly. I don't attach to people that way. So what happened was, yeah, I knew your favorite color. I knew your favorite flower. I knew what you like to eat. I knew where you like to go. I knew all these things about you. Your
Except for the last name.
did not
Oh my
add value
God.
to me in
Except
any
for the
way.
last name. That's making it way worse.
Your
You're
last
making
name has
it
no
worse.
value. What's the added
Hey,
value of you
Fizz.
knowing
Okay,
your last
hey,
name
Fizz.
is Brown?
What's Anna's
Why are
last
you
name?
making?
What is Anna's last name? That's all I want to know. What is it?
You are literally
You making it
no
way worse.
argument
Don't
about
say
it.
nothing.
You know everything around keeping the girl
Part of
other
it.
than the most simplest of what's her last name.
The most basic information about it.
Information.
Basic.
known to mankind.
Why do I need
People
to
don't
know her
figure
last
that
name?
out.
Why do you need to know what her favorite restaurant is? Why do you need to know what her favorite flower
Because-
is? What do you need to know what her favorite color is?
Because
go
when I
in-
remember,
Oh,
because when I surprise her and I take her out for the evening and I go to the place that serves her favorite food, I get bonus
Nah,
points
you make
for
it.
it. If I say, "Hey, your last name is Brown," okay,
really? I see.
You
I'm
make-
with you. I really don't understand.
Nah.
I mean, I should have known it. I should have learned it, but it didn't matter.
Y'all
Why?
players.
If it's
Players.
I mean, it don't.
If
it
I'm
don't-
dating a
it
man,
don't-
the most
it really
minimum
doesn't
thing
matter
I'm gonna
now.
know is his first name, his last name. Period. That's like so
Now, this is
basic.
a bad story, but when I came
So
to
you-
Georgia, my first girlfriend, when I came to Georgia, I didn't even give her my real name.
oh, good
Have a good
night.
night, Cortez.
Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams.
Yeah.
You are something else.
We learn something new every day. You ain't got to tell everything.
Ooh,
You don't have to tell everything. But I still think this story is too fake. It came together too quick, too
I do
nice,
think it's fake.
too like nah.
I fell in love with a blind girl in Target. We were star-crossed lovers from the 11th grade. But I found her once again in the self-checkout line.
I wrote out the story in about 15 seconds and knew what was gonna happen, and it happened. It's fake.
Fake. That's the first time we've ever all said it was fake.
I didn't say it was fake.
Ricardo, you over here
No,
picking
the
up
Three
blind
of
women
us
again?
have.
Three of us have. The three of us, not Marlon. I mean, it's your show here.
Anything, if I put a cynical story up, oh, that's real, that's happened, I've seen it a million times. When I put something nice up, that's the fakest crap I ever heard.
This is too fake, though, Marlon. This is just
it's
too.
in the details. It's in the
It was
level
too
of the
detailed.
detail.
I led her around the store because she was visually impaired, and then we fell in love, and then we got. Now I may not. That
I'm
line
okay
about
with that part.
that line about I may not have took her to the prom, but I took her as my oh, that.
I didn't steal her glasses, but I stole her heart. And now we have a CNI dog named Lucky because when I found her, that's what I was.
Lucky in love. No, Fizz. The dog is no, Fizz. The dog is named Blessed.
Yes.
Ain't nobody listening to Diz because Diz be the first person to sit there and go. Ain't nobody gonna learn somebody's last name before going to marry them.
Or I would know your last name before I marry you. I think.
Why is she gonna change her name anyway? She gonna change her name.
Listening to what he
now,
is
both
saying.
Of my, now, here's the funny thing. Both, like my first wife and my current wife, they got the same last name. So it really made that part a little easier. Yeah, the King is their maiden name.
Did they both change to Robinson?
And their birthdays are only a day apart.
Wow.
I'm surprised that he knew his wife's last name was King before she married him. I'm shocked.
Because it was King.
Because I loved her.
Yeah.
Still basic information. You definitely should know that. I'm gonna date some man I met. What's his last name? Oh no.
So somebody's in a club and asks you to dance. You're not going to say yes unless you know his full name?
Well, first of all, nobody's ever going to ask me to dance because I have no rhythm. But if they happen to,
Guilty feet have no rhythm.
Anyway, if they did, eventually I'm going to be like, my name is Tracy Carson. What's yours? Boom. I just met you.
But we're not talking about sliding past somebody and dancing with somebody. We literally said you are dating this person. You are taking them out. You are holding conversation with them.
Oh, Marlon, please put up.
Y'all acting like I got to identify the body or something. I'm like, her name is
ain't nobody
Stephanie.
Gonna call your ass
I know Stephanie.
What's your boyfriend's last name, Fizz Robinson? Does he know your last name, girl? Does he know your last name?
Who gonna ask that?
I had a girl with me.
Really?
Something happened, and I saw two guys chasing her away. Well, what's her name?
Thelma something. I don't know, Smith, Jones, Johnson.
Well, thankfully that never came up. And all I had, and then their names would be something like Little Bit, Baby Girl, Sweetheart, Pinky, whatever. It would have their own little nickname. I'm just coming off, they had their own little nickname, and that's who they are, and then that's it. And if I ever call, and this is the thing though, I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but it's definitely been with the kind of girls that I've dated over the years. When you have a nickname, and I'm calling you by your nickname, if I call you by your government name, there's a problem.
You don't know the girl's government name. You only know one part of it.
Just saying.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
You as baby girl, and then all of a sudden I say Crystal. Wait, what the?
Man, this is so slizzard up.